Hello everyone, welcome to our class. Today we are discussing the topic female reproductive system. Female reproductive system from the chapter Human Reproduction. The female reproductive system consists of ovary, fallopian tube. The other name of the fallopian tube is oviducts or uterine tubes. Then the uterus, uterine cervix, vagina, accessory genital glands, external genitalia and the mammary glands. All these are the main part of the female reproductive system. All these parts are integrated structurally and functionally to support the process of the ovulation, fertilization, pregnancy, the childbirth and the care. Okay, so the first we are discussing about the ovary. Okay, ovaries are the primary sex organs in human female. Ovaries are the primary sex organs in human female. It is the primary sex organ of female and it is paired. They are located in the upper pelvic cavity. Then each ovary is about 2 to 4 cm in length and remains attached to the abdominal wall by several ligaments. Ovary is differentiated into 3 parts: germinal epithelium, tunica albuginea and the stroma. What are the 3 layers? Germinal epithelium, tunica albuginea and the stroma. Germinal epithelium is the outermost layer of the ovary. Germinal epithelium is the outermost layer of the ovary. Okay, which is made up of simple cuboidal cells. Then the next layer is tunica albuginea. It's a poorly developed connective tissue layer below the germinal epithelium. So it is made up of connective tissue. Then the third layer is ovarian stroma with an outer dense layer called cortex and an inner loose layer of medulla. The ovarian stroma having outer dense layer of cortex and inner loose layer of medulla. Clear it is? So the primary sex organ in female, that is ovary. It is paired. Ovaries are located on the upper pelvic cavity. Each ovary is about 2 to 4 cm in length and is connected to the pelvic wall of and the uterus by ligaments. The ovary is differentiated into 3 parts: germinal epithelium, tunica albuginea and the stroma. Germinal epithelium is the outermost layer of the ovary which is formed of simple cuboidal cells. Then tunica albuginea is a poorly developed connective tissue layer seen below the germinal epithelium. Then the ovarian stroma. Each ovary is covered by a thin epithelium which encloses the ovarian stroma. Ovarian stroma with an outer dense layer and cortex and the inner loose layer that is known as medulla. Then ovary contains a group of cells. Inside the ovary it contains a group of cells. The group of cells are known as ovarian or Graafian follicle. A follicle consists of one egg cell surrounded by one or more layers of follicle cells which nourish and protect the developing egg cell. Inside the ovary contains a group of cells. The group of cells are known as ovarian or Graafian follicle. Okay, a follicle consists of only one egg cell surrounded by one or more layers of follicle cells. These follicle cells which nourish and protect the developing egg cell. Okay, about 4 lakhs follicles are formed in woman at birth. Actually, in case of male, the process of spermatogenesis occurs after puberty. But in case of female, when it crosses with the XX chromosome crosses with the fertilized with the XY chromosome and will be the product of XX. Okay, suppose it is a female. The follicles are start to form. Okay, After puberty, usually one follicle matures and releases its egg during each cycle. That we know, that is menstrual cycle. Then what are the functions of the ovary? They produce female gametes called ova by the process of oogenesis. Then the next function is it helps in the formation of the sex hormones estrogen. Okay, so all these are the functions of the ovary. This is the structure of the female reproductive system, and we discuss the portion ovary. It is an over this one. This is an paired one. Primary sex organ in female, 2 to 4 cm in length, and it is covered by 3 layers: germinal epithelium, tunica albuginea, and the ovarian stroma. The inside the ovary contain a group of cells. The group of cells are known as ovarian or Graafian follicle. Okay, a follicle contains consists of only one egg cell that's surrounded by follicles. Okay, the other follicle cells help to give nourishment and protect the developing egg cell. About 4 lakhs of follicle cells are producing. 4 lakhs of follicle cells are producing a woman at the time of birth, but they get matured at the time of puberty only. Next we are discussing about this fallopian tube. This is the fallopian tube. Mainly this fallopian tube having the main part, they having mainly 3 parts: infundibulum, ampulla, isthmus. Infundibulum, ampulla, and the isthmus, and the 4th part also it were, but it connected to the uterus. That part is known as uterine part. Okay, so the fallopian tube is about 10 to 12 centimeter long and extends from the periphery of each ovary to the uterus. Fallopian tube, the length of the fallopian tube is 10 to 12 centimeter long, and it extends from the periphery of each ovary to the uterus. Infundibulum, the first region is infundibulum. It is an funnel shaped, fimbriated, free end of the oviduct. This portion is the infundibulum. Fimbriated means finger-like projection, just as our villi. Intestine contain villi, finger-like projection. So on that way, thus in infundibulum also a funnel shaped, fimbriated, okay, free end of the oviduct. The function of this infundibulum is to catch the releasing ovum. Ovary is releasing ovum to catch the releasing ovum. That is the function of this fallopian tube, the infundibulum. The next widest part, that is known as ampulla. Ampulla is the widest and longest part of the oviduct. Fallopian tube, otherwise known as oviduct or uterine duct. Okay, so the next to the infundibulum, the portion is ampulla. It is the widest and the longest part of oviduct. It is the widest and the longest part of the oviduct. Clear? After this portion, this is an ampulla portion, and this narrow portion, that is isthmus. Isthmus is a short, narrow, thick-walled portion that follows the ampulla. The fertilization process mainly occurs in this ampulla isthmus region. Okay, so isthmus is the short, narrow, thick-walled portion that follows the ampulla. The next is uterine part, passes to the uterine wall and communicates to the uterine cavity. This portion is the uterine wall. So the fallopian tube, female accessory duct is the fallopian tube. Female having only one accessory duct, but in case of male they are having 4 accessory duct. Female having only one accessory duct. The accessory duct is oviduct or uterine duct or fallopian tube. It consists of 12 to 10 cm long, then extend from the periphery of each of the ovary. Okay, then the infundibulum, it is a funnel shaped, fimbriated, free end of the oviduct. Then ampulla, it is the widest and the longest part of the oviduct. Then isthmus, a short, narrow, thick-walled portion that follows the ampulla. Then the next last portion is uterine part, passes through the uterine wall, and communicates with uterine cavity. Okay, the wall of the fallopian tube composed of 3 layers. The wall of the fallopian tube is composed of 3 layers: mucosa, muscularis, serosa. Mucosa, muscularis, serosa. The fallopian tubule is lined. The fallopian tubule is lined by ciliated epithelium, whose cilia beat towards the uterus. Okay, so the ciliated epithelium helps the zygote move into the uterus. Okay, fertilization in mammals occurs in this fallopian tube. The special portion that is known as ampullary isthmus region occurs both in the place. Ampullary and isthmus portion occurs in the ampullary isthmus region. Clear it. Then the fertilization in mammals occurs in fallopian tube, and embryo develops there up to blastocyst stage. That we will discuss what is blastocyst stage in our next class. So now you understand just that fertilization takes place in the fertilization process takes place in the ampullary isthmus region. Then the next portion is uterus. Okay, the uterus, also called womb, is the organ in which the growing fetus is nourished till childbirth. Uterus is like an inverted pear, and it is supported by ligaments attached to the pelvic wall. It consists of the body of the uterus is known as corpus, and a narrow cavity that is known as uterine cavity, and the cervix portion. The neck portion is the cervix portion. The cavity of the cervix is called cervical canal, which along with vagina forms the birth canal. Uterus is also called the womb. Okay, the growing fetus get nourished till childbirth from this womb. Uterus is a inverted pear shape. It is attached to the pelvic. The uterus is supported by ligaments and attached to the pelvic wall. The body of the uterus is known as corpus, and the cavity is known as uterine cavity, and the neck portion is known as cervix. The cervix along with vagina that forms the birth canal. The body of uterus consists of, that means the corpus is made up of 3 layers of membrane, 3 layers of tissue. The outer thin membrane, that is known as perimetrium. The outer thin layer, that is known as perimetrium. And the middle thick layer of smooth muscle, that is known as myometrium. And the inner glandular layer, that is known as endometrium, that lines the uterine cavity. So the corpus is made up of 3 types of layers. The outer layer is the perimetrium, and the middle thick layer is the smooth muscle myometrium, and the inner glandular layer, that is endometrium, that lines uterine cavity. Okay, the endometrium plays an important role in reproduction. It undergoes cyclical changes during menstrual cycle. മെൻസ്ട്രൽ സൈക്കിൾ സമയത്ത് ഫീമെയിൽസ് ഉണ്ടാവുന്ന ആ പെയിൻ, സ്റ്റൊമക് പെയിൻ അല്ലേ, അതെന്താന്ന് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ ആ എൻഡോമെട്രിയം, യൂട്രസിന്റെ വോളിൽ നിന്നും എൻഡോമെട്രിയം വിട്ടുപോരുന്നത്, അവിടെയുള്ള ബ്ലഡ് വെസൽസ് വിട്ടുപോരുന്ന ഒരു വേദനയാണ്. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ ദ യൂട്രസ് ഇസ് മേഡ് അപ്പ് ഓഫ് 3 layers: പെരിമെട്രിയം, മയോമെട്രിയം, endometrium. Endometrium makes a bed each month. Endometrium makes a bed for receiving the zygote. When the fertilization is not takes place, the endometrium will shut off. Okay, so the endometrium undergoes cyclical changes during menstrual cycle. Clear? The next portion is the vagina. Uterus opens into a elastic muscular tube, that is vagina. It extends from the cervix to outside of the body. It provides the passage for the menstrual flow and receives semen from the male during mating and forms the part of the birth canal during parturition. Vagina is the vagina. The uterus opens into the elastic muscular tube, that is vagina. Vagina along with the cervix makes the birth canal. Okay, then it provides passage for the menstrual flow and receives semen from the male during mating and forms part of birth canal during parturition. Clear it is. So this is about female reproductive organs. The next classes we will discuss accessory genital glands. Okay.